What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Wars. Thanks for joining me today, my friends. Today, guys, I want to discuss small account strategies, growing a small account. I want to talk to you about my journey and just tips and tricks that I've learned over the years to help you succeed. All right. So if you're ready, my friends, let's step into the war zone. So when it comes to small accounts, you really have to focus on quality versus quantity. Okay. And I've mainly grown two small accounts. One was from $5,000 to about $84,000, and then the other one recently we did was about $1,500 to $3,000. Okay, and that one we did last year, and then the one before that, the big run that I had was during the Trump era. Okay, it was during the trade crisis and all these crazy events that happened. So you need to succeed with small accounts, you need multiple time frame alignment. That's very clear to me. Okay. You need to have all of the time frames line up such that if you hit this trade, you're going to be breaking out on all the time frames together. And that's the way you can make the most money. So I'm going to show you an example right now with NQ, and I'm going to talk to you guys about micros, okay, which is very important. So this was the one we did last year, okay? And we took MNQ. Each point is $2, and we closed this for over $1,000 points, which is 2,000 in profits. So one single micro contract of the NQ is roughly $1,500 to hold. So I just want to show you the basics of futures. All right. Because this is a lot harder to do with options. It is a lot harder to do with options because with options, you have a limited amount of time. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do options the right way. Okay. In my style of trading options. But personally, for me, if I had no choice and I had to make this work, I would use futures. Okay. And let me get you the guide here. Right here, I'm on the margin requirements for futures. I'm going to just control find MNQ. Okay. So MNQ, it's roughly $1,400 to hold a contract. $1,400. So you need to have $1,400 cash to hold one of these micro contracts in your account. So what it means is if you start to go under $1,400, you're going to get liquidated. They're going to sell your position for you. Okay. Because if you can't maintain that margin requirement, they're going to sell it. But with futures, there's no PDT, there's no DK. All right. There's no limit. There's no time limit. All right. So with this, we're able to basically take a $1,500 account to roughly $3,500 last year and one single contract. Okay. So this was also given on the YouTube. So make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm always looking for the next one. But let me explain to you what I mean by multiple time frame alignment. Okay. So we have to go back in time to when we took this trade. All right. So this trade, we took it right around here. So the first thing you want to start off with is the monthly chart. Okay. So this is where we were at the time. Obviously, if we look to the left, we can see this is an uptrend. So we had a pullback. So something important to do is check the fibs. So here we go. There was the 618 pullback. So we knew that there's a bullish algorithm back in 2022 that wants to see this go to new highs. Okay. So that's what we're seeing. And if we look above, there's nothing above. Okay. There's no resistance above. If we make it past here, we can blow the roof off. Okay. And then from there, we drill down. We go to the weekly. We see the same thing. Okay. Here's the roof. All right. All right. And then we are in this area here. Okay. We still have room. The trend is up. And then we go down to the daily, which was my execution. So on the daily chart, what I did here, guys, is I took our Fibonacci from the low off of that gap up to this high. And I always use the same strategy. The same strategy is taking the 618 long. Okay. So now we have multiple time frames lining up and I'll fast forward, bang. Okay. I obviously here, my friends, I didn't sell at the exact high. I closed this position on this, this move right here, this gap up. I could have held this, could have kept going forever in theory, but I actually closed it because I achieved my goal. All right. And let's go back here now. Let's pull up go back to the monthly here and let's get this. Okay. So there we go. So there's the breakout. But what you see here is the monthly chart is dictating to me that this can be a big breakout. If I don't see that, okay, on the monthly chart, if I see us consolidating, if I see us, with resistance, then there's no point to take the trade. If I had one trade to take in my life, if there's one trade that I could take to grow my small account, I need to have all the time frames aligned. Okay, so that's what we start off with, the monthly, work your way down to the weekly, and then get to the daily and execute. It's the same thing I did when I did 5,000 to 80. It was like 84, 85 was the same thing, and I'll show you that. So that one I did on ES. Okay, so it was on this right here, guys, this hammer bar on the weekly chart. Okay, so I took this hammer bar on the weekly chart and I did something extremely dangerous. I'm going to talk to you guys about it now, but this is something that it's high risk. Okay, so what I did is I actually bought micro ES contracts and I added on every pullback. I added on every pullback and I built myself a position, a massive position, using the unrealized gains. I rolled them into new contracts. I don't recommend doing that. I wouldn't do that if I had to go back because it was just extremely stressful, but that's something you guys can do as well. So as an example with this MNQ, right? If I wanted to be aggressive, well, the profit that I made, so the $2,000 in profit that I made off of this move, I could have added again on this gap fill. Okay, I can add it back on the gap fill and could continue and going that way. And that's really how you can make crazy gains. You can start off with a small account, and if you have enough contracts on, you're doubling your size, you're tripling your size every time. And then by the end of it, guys, you can have 5 or 10 contracts on. And now every point that's moving up or down, you're making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's extremely dangerous, okay? Because you can get margin called, but you need to have parameters in place. So what I would do is you risk the unrealized gains for the next contract, but you got to progressively move that stop loss up, all right? And that's something that I've learned over time. All right, guys. So there's an example right here, and you can also see that I do SPY, okay? I do calls. All right, so let me see if I can find a good example here of calls. So if I were to do options, the only way that I would do option, guys, is on a pullback, okay? I would not do options on breakouts, only on a pullback. So here's our recent example of the last one we took. So we went long here on the 17th of January. I used from low to high like this, 618. This is the hourly chart. Same thing, guys. If I go to the daily chart, look at this. So the daily chart, there was a pullback, but look, there was no resistance above this all-time high. So that's the same thing that I'm looking for, that break and that push. The only thing that I regret with options is I only took 2 weeks out, okay? I should have still been in this play right now, but I had 2 weeks expiry, okay? So let me show you guys that. So right here, this is the Dragon Lotto's channel. And right here, guys, so this was a 300% return right here, guys. So you can see I bought them at average of 380, and I ended up closing them for like 15 or 16 something, okay? And I did a video on with the broker statements the other day on that. But that's the thing with options now. So how can I really get all of the trend if I have an expiry? That's the problem. So that's why I prefer with options to just really focus on the quick in and out, but the bigger picture, I'm going to hit it with futures. All right. Okay. So multiple time frame alignment. I showed you the example with NQ. Like I said, guys, use micro contracts because you're not going to have enough size to hold the full contract. So you want to use MNQ and MES. With the options, I want to do 2 weeks out, more if possible, but no 0 DTE. If you're growing a small account, a lot of the times you can't suffer the loss of chasing. And when you do 0 DTE, it's very unforgiving. You can't play 0 DTE with a small account. Cut too many times, you're dead. Okay? You're dead in the water. The other thing now that I want to talk about is intraday. I blew up my early accounts with 0 DTE. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us have gone through that. Intraday, this is very important now. If you're going to day trade, guys, you cannot trade every single day or every single month. For SPY, it's regular trading hours, and then I use futures. The best trades that I found is when the futures, like here's an example of MNQ. So here's an hourly pullback as an example. So the best trades are when this pullback, like this, lines up with SPY. Because when you have multiple indices saying the same thing, that's when you have the best possible result. Because you have, again, multiple time frame, multiple indicators, multiple instruments. Okay, so I don't roll my options because then I have to pay a higher premium for the next batch. All right, so I wouldn't do that. I only trade options on a pullback. Okay, and this is the thing I wanted to tell you guys about intraday. You can't trade every day, especially with a small account. When you have a big account, you can suffer a drawdown. Okay, you can suffer a 20% drawdown, 10% drawdown. You can go through a losing streak, but you have to be very specific intraday. You have to choose specific months of the year and specific days of the week. So for example, January, I barely took any day trades, barely. It was all swings mainly. And I traded on Friday live with you guys on YouTube because the statistics tell me earnings in January, that time frame, intraday becomes choppy. There's a lot of stuff that happens overnight. That's why I want to swing. And now switching into February, it's a different gear where I can day trade more. And then based on the stats, Monday is not the best day to trade during the last quarter, as an example. In December, the last 2 weeks of December is not good. Thanksgiving week is not. So all of these things, you have to be very surgical. If you don't have that much capital, when you start off trading, you think you got to hit every day more, right? Because that's what you think. You got to work harder. You got to trade more. No, trading is the opposite. It's quality over quantity. And I really wanted to stress that in today's video. When you're doing, for me, I'll tell you my plan straight up. When I'm doing options, it's pull back on the hourly chart 2 weeks out. That's it. That's the best quality for me. When I'm doing futures for a big account challenge, small account, multiple time frame analysis. Right now, there's no multiple time frame analysis. There's nothing. Okay, the market's already ripping. What am I going to do right now? There's nothing for me to chase. There's nothing for me to take for a big small account challenge, right? But I already have some profits here that I don't mind letting it run a little bit more, right? But at the same time, if I get a pullback, right? If we can get a pullback, okay, now I'm reassessing, but I won't be buying at the top, okay? All of these things, if you have the right habits, you're going to have the best chance to succeed. For me, habits come down to this: no zero DTE with a small account, no chasing at the highs, okay? Wait for the pullback, multiple time frame alignment, and also multiple indice analysis. Russell, NASDAQ, ES. If we can all line up, we can have a great trade. All right, guys. So that's it. I hope I showed you some examples. And these are all real trades that I call out in the Discord step by step. In January, we really only had 2 swing trades. One of them was a loser, a small loser, and one of them was a massive 10,000 plus winner. And that's just focus on quality, guys. I want you to go back and I want you to do this challenge. Your next 20 trade, here's tradingwars.com. All right, let me take you to here. Here's my tracker right here. Download this free copy, okay, of my journal. Track your next 20 trades. And I want you to know, okay, in the next 20 trades, what I want you to say, is it a pullback or is it a breakout? Is it a Fibonacci or is it a, whatever, RSI, whatever, MACD? And then I want you to start seeing, okay, over these 20 trades, which trades are making the most money, okay? All right, guys. Yeah, so a little bit of market analysis here. We had some earnings, and you can see we did have a little bit of a pullback. We are looking at this pattern right now, and I'm just waiting to pull the trigger on this pattern right here. If we come off of the lows, push up high, bang, extension, completion. This is the dragon. I'm going to be looking for some lotto calls, probably 2 weeks out, and as well as some futures. Or what I might do is I might swap over to the 4-hour chart, and then I might pull this anchor all the way down. This is the last significant anchor right there. So these are some really powerful plays that are coming up. And I'm just going to be patient. I'm not going to be chasing anything. As always, guys, check me out, tradingwars.com. My friends, drop the like and leave a comment. If you guys want to come and sign up for the swing room, it's $150, lifetime access right here, guys, okay? Or you can sign up right here on the main page for the day trade alerts, all right? Thanks, guys. Have a great day.